and welcome to Salmon's Pizzeria. I am your host, Callum and I am joined with Kieran Ashton to do the limited championship roundup. How are you, Kieran?
I'm doing all right, thanks. Pleasure to be back on. How are you? You doing all right?
I'm doing great because Rafe Rovers didn't play at the weekend.
I assume so.
Yep, it's like, yeah, missed out on doing this last weekend because the Scotland game happened and that was more important, and I was not going to cover a game where Rafe lost to Morton by myself, let alone doing it with Aidan. So,
I do not
so
blame you for that whatsoever.
so it's a case of, it's fine, we'll move on. We'll go on to this weekend. Surely nothing will go wrong. And it started off perfectly fine. We had Falkirk away at Queen's Park at Hampden. And yeah, it was pretty much how we expected it, really. It's like Falkirk had a couple of big chances early on that sort of set the tone for how the game would go, with Callum
Yeah,
Ferry making two good saves.
yeah.
But Queen's
I
Park,
thought Callum Ferry kept him Queens Park in it. To be honest, so it wasn't for him. I think Falkirk were
absolutely. It was
yeah,
like Queen's Park did work their way back into it. They had a couple of
hmm
chances around about like the
yeah,
15th and 20th minute, but
hmm
then Nesbitt managed to get the ball just about like 8 yards out. It was a bit messy with the defender, but he was able to
yeah.
get a
I thought
clear shot through
I
bottom
thought
left
the
corner.
I thought the ball from Dylan Tate to Liam McCann to set up Nisbet was absolutely fantastic. Kamake had no chance getting it with that ball, and yeah, it was scrappy. It was scrappy in the box, I thought, but I thought it was a well taken finish by Aidan Nisbet as well.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, it is what you've got
He
to
did
do.
get he did get quite lucky with it ricocheting off the Queens Park
Aye, it
defender, mind
was.
you. But yeah, it was still a kind of well taken goal, and I think Falkirk were. I mean, they were well deserved and being 1-0 up. They should have been. I think they should have been kind of well out of sight beforehand, but if it wasn't for Callum Ferry's heroics, shall we say? But yeah, no, Falkirk were more than deserved to be in the lead, I thought.
Aye, and it was a case of, it's like once that goal went in, it was
Mm.
just all Falkirk.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, just, I think Queen's Park maybe in the second half had one or two shots
hmm
in the highlights, and that was their
Yeah,
own highlights, and it
yeah,
was just all Falkirk. It's like, granted, there were ones where I can't remember who it was, but it's like the ball came over the top, it came to one of the Falkirk players' feet,
hmm
and he just scuffed it.
uh,
But it's like, aside from that, it was, if it wasn't for Callum Ferry, that game finishes like 4 or 5-0.
yeah, yeah.
Like, it was incredible.
I thought Queens Park were pretty poor, to be honest. Zach, I don't know what's happened with Zach Rudden. There's a few Thistle fans that were talking about it on Twitter. I thought I was going to bring it up tonight as well. But I generally don't think he's been. I mean, I say for yourself, Callum, because you obviously seen him last season at Raith Rovers. I generally don't think he's at the same form since he left us. I don't know if it'll be a case of him kind of regretting his move to Dundee from us, but I don't. I think he's missed that partnership with Graham. I don't mean to make it all about us, but I certainly think he's missed that partnership, and he wasn't. He didn't have the best of starts for us as well. When he was at Thistle, he was out injured for quite a bit at the start of his Thistle tenure, but he's not looked good at all. Even when we've played him this season, especially at Hampden, he did not look good at all. If that was Zach Rudden that I've seen at Thistle, he's put no chances away 9 times out of 10. He's not looked good at all, man.
It's very much a case of, it's like he started off all right this
hmm
season. He
hmm
got a couple of goals, but then since then
Yeah.
it's just dried up again. It's very much the same as what happened at Rafe. I
hmm
think I want to say his first game was against Ayr, and he got I think he got two
hmm
assists,
Yeah.
and we were just like, okay, this is good. And then it's like he got a goal, and then he got a goal against Dundee United as well,
Yeah.
and we're
That
like,
was that was
okay,
the game. Yeah.
this might be going well. And then he
Yeah.
did nothing.
Yeah. That was a game that I remember seeing him, particularly apart from the games that I've obviously seen against us when he was playing at Wraith. Thought he looked really good on. I think it was a Friday night game. He's won 2-1, I think.
That
It
was a Friday
starts.
night game. Aye.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good. I thought he looked all right as well. In the playoff game against us. the first leg at Firhill, but other than that,
Which I think that was the one where he came off the bench, wasn't it?
yeah, I think so.
And that was apparently it's like his tactic was what he was doing in other games anyway, where
Yeah,
it's a case of
hmm
time by being offside.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like the thing where it's like Kylian Mbappe, he got caught 7 times offside against
yeah. In the El Clasico,
Barcelona. It's like I
yeah,
wonder what if they were tracking that for Zach Rodden whilst he was at Reeve, it would be like the top 10 would just
yeah,
all be him. It was
yeah,
hilarious. It's like it would be a case of it's like, wait a minute, the ball's gone to Zach Rodden and the
yeah,
flag hasn't gone up. What is going on here?
yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm right in saying Callum Ferry got man of the match.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but like I would not be surprised if he did. I thought his saves were I thought the saves he was making were absolutely fantastic. The one in particular, I think it was the second half. There was an equally brilliant ball for the Falkirk man to the guy on the left, to the Falkirk player on the left, and it was decent. I thought it was a goal. I thought it was a, an absolute set to be a goal. But I Callum Ferry equally made a fantastic save. And I think that was like the third or fourth save he made on Friday night. If it, as you said, if it wasn't for Callum Ferry, I think it was at least in the first half anyway, probably three. Queens Park would have found himself 3 down at least. And I think Falkirk would be equally disappointed they didn't score more, to be honest. But they got their win,
That's
and
absolutely the
that's what
thing with Queen's
matters.
Park this season. It's a
Mm-hmm.
case of it's like, where would they be without Callum Ferry?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
that's like the real difference for
yeah,
Queen's Park this season. That's separating them from
mm-hmm.
this sort of glob
Did
that's
it?
appearing at the bottom
Yeah,
half of the table.
yeah,
Is it's like the games. It's like Wraith games against Queen's Park is always a case of we'll like absolutely battle them, but we maybe only
yeah,
win by 1 goal, and that's because
yeah,
Callum Ferry has made about 16 world class saves.
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just he's an unreal goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic. It's a player that when I think he was in before we got Miles Roberts, so I would have looked at getting, to be honest, but
Hmm.
he's still at how long's he been at Queens Park now? That's a good couple of years at least.
Aye, it's definitely a good couple of years. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
old he is. I feel like he's fairly young for a goalkeeper.
I would say the same as well. Yeah, but yeah, like when Thistle were kind of looking to, or at least when fans were kind of wanting another keeper in to kind of challenge Jamie Snedden and David Mitchell and that. Callum Ferry was certainly one. I was looking at Charlie Albinson was another one getting branded about, but after his performance last week against us, no chance in hell. But Callum Ferry's definitely within a shout of probably one of the best keepers in the league, to be honest, this season. I think he's
Aye,
fantastic. I think
absolutely.
he's really good.
He is a very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah,
So with Falkirk extending their lead at the top of the table, but with the Saturday games still to be played, it was a case of waiting to see if that lead would stay the same. And it stayed the same, but not for any other results happening because Storm Burt decided to appear. And now, if we don't get a Storm Ernie, I'm going to be very disappointed.
it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen. That name has got to be on the list somewhere. Come on, like meteorologist, you've got to have a
just
sense of
just
humour.
skip the C. Just skip the C in the alphabet. Just
Skip
go
it.
straight to E.
Just get straight to
Who
E.
cares about C anyway? You know what I mean?
So when it comes to the other championship games, well, before we get to the championship games, Elgin against Clyde got called off on the Friday night because Borough Briggs was just under snow and they were just like,
Yeah.
nah, this is not going ahead.
That's
Just skip this one, we'll move it to a Tuesday.
yeah.
And it's like, that was pretty much like a warning.
Yeah.
And good lord, was it a warning? So for the championship, just the championship, we had Morton against Partick Thistle postponed at about 20 past 11, which
Yeah.
that is perfectly reasonable because
Yeah.
it was a case of it's like Aiden, he woke up and
Mhm.
he just like looked out his window, it was white
Yeah.
and it's like, yep, that is not happening, and it was
Yeah.
fairly easy decision.
I was hearing from Morton fans as well. I think it was as early as Thursday. That I know through like the people that I go to games with and that were saying that there's no chance in hell this game's going ahead.
Which,
Um,
which Was there meant to be like a Scotland under 19s or like under 18s or something like that game that was meant to be played at Capello, but it got moved?
I think so. I think so.
And it's like I'd
Yeah.
heard rumours about it
Mhm.
being due to the pitch being
Yeah.
frozen.
Yeah.
So I think that was very much a case of it's
Mhm.
like that one is definitely not going ahead, and
Yeah. Definitely. Like I
it's
think
like
definitely. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah, it's
Callum,
like
on you go.
that is a game that had like the
Yeah.
shortest distance for away
Yeah.
fans to travel, I
Yeah.
think, and it was the one that
Mhm.
got called off the earliest because
Yeah.
the rest it's just what is going on.
Yeah.
So we had Airdrie against Livingston postponed at about 20 past 12. Again, that is probably a bit
Mhm.
reasonable, but the M8 going west of Livingston was shot at about 10,
Yeah.
11,
Yeah.
something like that. It's like the moment that happened, it
Mhm.
should have been a case of, right, there's going to be a whole load of call offs here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it should have been like a swift decision by higher ups to saying,
Mhm.
yeah, nah, this is not happening.
Yeah.
Because Aki's against Rafe, despite Aki's saying at about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the
Mhm.
morning, saying everything is fine, and then again at 11 or something, they were
Saying
saying
yeah, it's
everything
still
is fine,
playable.
and
Yeah.
then 12 o'clock is like, can we get fans to clear the pitch? It's like, what have you been doing all morning?
The
What
photo
have
they
you
put.
been up to?
Yeah.
And it's like
The
the
photo.
moment that came out,
Yeah.
that should have been like a big warning. It was a
Yeah.
big warning sign. It was basically a case of, wait a minute, it takes. It's like with the M8 being shot as
Mhm.
well. It's like we would have all had to go via the Kincardine and like down through Falkirk and whatnot, and
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
case
Yeah.
of that would have taken an hour and a half, and that wasn't
Yeah.
really accounting for traffic
Mhm.
and the conditions.
Yeah.
And so for that to wait until 1 p.m., so like 2 hours before the game, where it's a case of people like that's just from Kirkcaldy. There's got to be Rovers fans heading from further field, but it's like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
would have left,
Mhm.
and it was just why have you waited that long?
And the photo that was going around as well of like I think it
Aye,
was
it was
post.
like it was
Yeah.
maybe like 10 minutes past 1 where it's like
Yeah.
photos got shown of like the pitch and it was just like
Yeah.
completely covered in
And
snow and
snow
it's like
hit.
they barely moved anything and it was just like
Yeah.
why?
Like how did
If
they
if
like?
this was the
Yeah.
case, why
Mhm.
have you waited until
Mhm. Yeah.
then?
Mhm.
Like that,
Yeah.
and then Ayr against Dunfermline. That got moved back by 45 minutes, and that got announced at 20 past 2. And it's just, what is the point?
Yeah.
It's like, what is genuinely the point? It's like, first of all, Rafe Rovers, they put out a statement where they said at 9:30 we were informed that the pitch was playable. This was reaffirmed at 11:45 a.m. And then it later became evident through Hamilton's social media channels, both of them, because
Mhm.
why do you have two Twitter accounts? Aki's, please. And then again, the decision to call off the game was made just before 1 p.m. It is now clear that the pitch
Mhm.
was not playable at all, and they're just saying stay safe and enjoy your weekend. But
Yeah.
it was like sharing supporters' frustrations.
Yeah.
Dunfermline's statement is one for the statement leagues. Because they were saying they were extremely disappointed at the very limited additional time available to prepare for the game. Because obviously it's like teams will arrive at the ground at what
Mhm.
12,
Mhm.
and they arrive at about 12. So it
Yeah.
was, and they were saying the team and staff had been traveling for about 5 hours, which does not
Jesus
surprise me.
Christ.
I mean, again, it's like
Yeah.
one end of it's like
Yeah.
Fife to South Ayrshire.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is a long one.
Yeah.
And it was saying a number of our players also struggled through awful conditions to get to the team bus, including one who was involved in a minor road crash. That's what it said. And it's like, furthermore, the club had already advised supporters not to travel due to conditions, along with police warnings across the central belt. And it's this part. It's like, on the one hand, you can say, and also it goes on saying, as the travel plans cause so much disruption, yada yada
Mhm.
yada.
Yeah.
It just surely
Mhm.
it's like the SPF. I put this out on Twitter and Blue Sky and whatnot, where it's a case of
Yeah.
if the SPFL came out at 9 o'clock Saturday
Mhm.
morning
Uh huh.
and said, right, anything below the championship, off.
Mhm.
Does anything below the Premiership is just off.
Uh huh.
And then with the Premiership games, it was a case of moving them back to say a
Yeah.
5 o'clock kickoff. Because the thing is, it's like with the Premiership, it's a lot easier to move games in the lower leagues, because with the Premiership games you have teams in Europe, and you got League Cup
Yeah.
semi-final. Actually, no, they played semi-finals, haven't they? Oh, it's like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it's a case of it's a lot, and TV as well,
Yeah, TV
and
and that.
so it's a case of in like there needs to be like a force majeure or something, where it's a case of
Yeah.
if a storm is going across like the entire central belt and like large
Yeah.
parts of the Highlands, if a club is in the area or has to like travel through these areas, and
Yeah.
it's a case of this isn't happening, just
Yeah.
because it just saves this fast. Because I'm just sat there just waiting until
Yeah.
like the last possible moment before
Yeah.
finding out if I'm able to go to the game or not, and
Yeah.
it was like Edinburgh. Oh god, it was like Edinburgh City is like the absolute worst one, where it was a
Yeah.
case of they said the pitch inspection was at 2:30, and it was like, and it's a case of well, it's like all the East Fife fans are going to be in Edinburgh
Yeah.
by that point.
I
And it's
know.
like
I know.
Edinburgh was
Yeah.
hellish enough.
Yeah. I know. An East Fife. I know an East Fife fan that was already through in Edinburgh by the time the game was like called off, and like they were like, "What do we do now?" You know, what I mean, obviously you're in Edinburgh, so you can kind of make a day out of it, I suppose. But like,
Well, you say
they
make a
made
day out, they
yeah,
cancelled the Christmas market.
yeah, that's a good
You
point.
shut the
Yeah,
Christmas market
yeah,
because of snow.
yeah.
What kind of
But
country we live
yeah,
in?
yeah. So like, but the main reason you're there is for the football. Obviously, you can like go to the pub or whatever. But like, you're like, what do you do at that point? But yeah, the Edinburgh and East Fife one. Apparently, it was the East Fife chairman that was saying postpone the game, or something like that.
Ah,
Yeah, and Edinburgh City were wanting the game to go ahead. That they were trying their best to get their game to go ahead, and they're like, what? What the hell, man? It was just, it's never easy with Scottish football and stuff like that. You would think like common sense should prevail at this point. You know, it's still not the case. You know
no.
what I mean, it, it's an absolute joke. It's a farce. That's what it is. It's a farce.
Ah,
There is no consideration for like fans traveling across the country, but you're even saying that for the with the
I
Dunfermline
played.
thing is with that minor travel. There's just no consideration for fans, players, like coaching staff, or like officials as well. Whatever. There's no real sense of common sense. You know what I mean?
It's like the players. It's like they don't live
mhm.
at the ground. It's like the
Yeah.
main stand. It's not like
Hmm.
student flats or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh god, that would be awful. Could you imagine that? That sounds hellish.
Yeah, but it's an absolute farce. That speaking for Thistle personally, we did get away with one. That was probably, and we were like probably the shortest in terms of
Yeah,
distance,
it's like
shortest
you probably
pace.
had the
Yeah,
shortest distance in like the
yeah,
entire SPFL, and
yeah.
you were like the earliest one aside from
Hmm.
Elgin against Clyde to get called off. I think there was it's like Peterheads was fairly late in getting called off, and they were against Forfa
Yeah,
again. It's just like I'm not entirely sure. And it's like Angus was
yeah.
bad from what I've heard. I'm not sure
Hmm.
about Aberdeenshire. I don't think Aberdeenshire was that badly
Yeah,
affected, but again, it's like the East of Scotland League and the West of Scotland League at about half 11, 12. They just came out and just said, "Yeah, we're cancelling all the games." Lowland
yeah.
League was cancelled
Hmm.
pretty early on. Same with the Highland League. And it's a
Yeah.
case of
Uh,
if these regional leagues are
mhm.
able to do it, why is
Yeah,
the SPFL the way it is?
yeah. Making an absolute arse. But saying that, did you see the video of I think it was the Steny bus getting caught in the snow
The
on their
city
way
bus
to
got
Cove.
caught in
Yeah,
Broxton or something like that.
yeah,
It
aye.
was again,
Yeah, they
like you're
couldn't.
saying about care for players and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's like it's just again, and
just
also with probably the most egregious one is the one with my favourite Highland club, Inverness, where it was a case
yeah,
of it was like their game against Queen of the South didn't get
yeah,
called off until about one ish, and it's like
yeah,
you were saying, we were chatting beforehand, and you were saying you've got a mate who supports Cali
yeah,
Festival, and it's like
yeah,
they were at Dunblane, and it
yeah.
was a
They
case
were
of
in Dunblane. Yeah, they were all like that.
great, so the game's
Yeah,
off, and then it's a case
yeah,
of the A9 is shut. It's like,
yeah.
and then it's like seeing the pictures again. It's like you mentioned
Hmm.
about the Aki's pictures, and then it's like with Queen of the South. It was like in the morning, it was under a whole
Yeah,
layer of snow,
yeah,
and then it couldn't drain because the
Mhm.
sand that is the base of the artificial pitch had
Uh-huh.
frozen, so it couldn't drain away
Yeah.
when it did melt. So it was a case
Mhm.
of why has this just not been
Yeah.
called off earlier?
Yeah. It
It,
was a photo that was going about of the pitch at Palmerston as well. You're like, how have they waited until? Surely they take one look at that at like 9 in the morning and be like, maybe even earlier because there's
because Inverness is
Inverness,
the
yeah,
other side of the country.
yeah, Inverness,
It probably
yeah,
takes like
that,
5 hours
yeah. I think that's by
in
far,
normal conditions.
yeah, yeah. I think that's like the longest like journey that fans have got to make, like from Dumfries to Inverness. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's like the
entirely
only other
sure.
one
Yeah,
that's going to be longer is going to be like Peterhead or Elgin to
yeah, uh huh,
Dunbar.
yeah. And I was speaking about it. I'm in a group chat on Twitter with a guy, and he was like, "I'm in Dunblane, and it's just been called off. Like what? Like this is an absolute farce, to be honest, and quite rightly so. So I and he got to Dunblane. He was like, "What can I do? Like, what can I do now?" And I was like, messaging me, try going, that's a joke. That's probably the worst out of the lot, to be honest, taking into consideration the distance. Inverness fans had to travel, and even the Inverness players and whatever had to travel. It's probably the worst out of the lot. Um, and he was like I can basically, but I think what he did was he went to Asda or something like that, and went to the Asda in Perth to get some scran or whatever. That is generally all you can do, to be honest. Because and you, like, if you're saying that as well, you could go, oh, let's go to a junior game or like a Lowland game, see what games they're all called off as well. So
Nothing was on. I've
you
just had
can't
a
make a
look.
day of
I've
it.
just had a look here. It's 1:15. Quarter
That's
past
yeah,
one.
yeah. It's an absolute it's an absolute joke, to be honest. Same way, I think, like talking about the Lowland games and that as well. I think the Scottish Junior Cup, my local team, Vale Leaving, their game got called off as well. They were hosting Johnson Borough, sorry, Kyle Lafferty's Johnson Borough, and there was quite a few people like looking forward to that. Speaking to like some of the players that I met last week, and I know some of them because I used to like train with them. And he was kind of looking forward to it because he's a big Rangers fan, this guy. So he was looking forward to playing against Kyle Lafferty. Um,
Ah,
Obviously that get called off and whatever, but it's just it's shocking. There needs to be more clarity, but like this has happened for years now. It's I remember going to see a Thistle game, and this was in the top flight, and this was during I think it was during a huge storm. I think it was like 2013, 14. And Isaac Osborne ended up getting injured as a result of it, and he never played for us again. So like, and he was one of our, like at that point one of our better players. He got injured,
mm.
picked up a massive injury for that storm. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're like they've got to take into consideration if you're like wanting the games to go ahead during these, like if players get injured and whatnot, like it's an absolute joke, to be honest.
It's like I'm in a. It's like I'm working on a video again on
Mhm.
plastic pictures because that was like the first thing that I did, and it's like
Yeah.
it needs to be done because of
Uh huh.
everything that's happened over like the past
Yeah.
year.
Uh huh.
And in the original and in this one, I do mention about how plastic pitches is like they're less likely to get called off due
Yeah.
to the pitches being waterlogged and
Uh
whatnot.
huh.
But it's like whenever we get extreme conditions like we did
Mhm.
on Saturday, and it's like
Mhm.
the games are getting cancelled
Yeah.
and people are putting out all weather pitches and whatnot.
Mhm.
It's like it's not just that. I mean, like
Yeah.
again, these are like extreme circumstances.
Yeah.
And it's like I do mention about how about October last year. I think there was another storm, but it wasn't a snow
Mhm.
one because it was in October, and
Yeah.
it was like the Inverteal Burn, which is at the
Mhm.
bottom of Pratt Street. I think you'll know what I'm on about with the
Yeah.
where the bridge is, and it's like that
Yeah.
had like burst its banks,
Yeah.
but our game, which was against Dundee United, still went on, whereas Dunfermline, like 50 miles away, that game was
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's saving the rest of that for my own video. So I will need to like put a
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to put that as like a little disclaimer thing. It's like
Yeah.
apart from like extreme
Yeah.
circumstances, like
Yeah.
this sort of storm where you know
Mhm.
there's a general health hazard for anyone
Yeah.
going outside.
Yeah. It's a joke, man. Obviously, I wasn't affected by it anyway, being called off because I was missing the game because I was working anyway. But there's people that they've got nothing that they do not that they work all week and they've got their Saturday. Their
Uh,
Saturday to themselves. I mean, that's what they look forward to. That is their main thing. That the release from reality. To be honest, their escape for reality. And you don't get it, so you're stuck. Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? If you don't work weekends or whatever, you're like, what do you do? Like, say hi to the family I've not seen in like 20 years. What do you, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? you know,
but
it's
it's like the only people
wild.
who were able to in the championship anyway, able
Mm-hmm.
to get to ignore their families for at least 90 minutes was A United fans. They got to see their side play against Dunfermline. Again, as mentioned, that was pushed back to a 3:45 kickoff. And it starts off with a Dunfermline chance, and then it was just there.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
just all Air United for that first half. It's like the highlights. It was like I was using the Dunfermline highlights, and I think it was like they were about just shy of 11 minutes long,
Yeah.
and it's like the first because it's like got the intro and it's like the first Dunfermline shot, and then it's like the next 5 minutes is the rest of the first
Mm-hmm.
half, and it's like the ball is not in the air box.
Yeah.
It's barely even in the Air United half.
Yeah.
It was just all air.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
Dunfermline's goalkeeper Oluwayemi is like he. It's like if it's not for him, Dunfermline are
Like,
in the same boat as Airdrie.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it is annoying because
Yeah.
obviously I want Dunfermline to be down with like
Yeah.
5 points as well.
Yeah.
But it's like he's a massive upgrade on what they had last season in
Mm-hmm.
Denise Mehmet.
Yeah, it could have been at least 2 or 3. But like I was the same. Like looking at that, like you're posting like 11, it's just shy of 11 minutes, and it's all weird. Like I think that it tells you all you need to know about kind of Dunfermline's season at the moment. To be honest, that they're not looking good. I've generally not been like whenever I've seen them, I don't think they've been that great. I think their goalkeeper's good, but them as a team they're not good. So it was for large spells of that first half. Apart from that first chance, kind of Dunfermline wouldn't even really call it a chance to be honest. It was all air. It was all air, and it generally could have been 2 or 3 heading into the break if it wasn't for their keeper or Ayers Laka. I don't think they probably could have done better with a few of their chances as well. But they Dunfermline do not look good. Don't look good at all.
It's like with the second half, it did start off a bit 50-50. There was a couple of chances for Dunfermline, one of which being Chris Keane with one of the worst shanks I have
Yeah,
seen in doing one of these roundups.
yeah,
It's bad.
yeah,
It's like he's what like 20 yards out, and it just
hmm
goes like it was closer to the corner flag,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
That
not
was
like
the one.
it's not one of those ways like just hit it with like a whole load of power and like skied
Yeah,
it. No, it's like he's gone to finesse it, and it's just
yeah,
gone
yeah,
away.
hmm
But there is a goal. It is Jay Henderson, and
I
if
thought it
there's
was
going
a
to be a
really good
goal to
goal.
break
Yeah,
the deadlock,
yeah.
some strike.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Air deservedly took the lead for that, to be honest. And he got there just towards, and what a fantastic finish! It was just hammered it right. There was no way that the keeper was stopping it. It was a fantastic way to open the scoring.
I like you saying it was about. I'd say it was about edge of the box, right
Yeah,
into the top left hand corner near
yeah,
post.
yeah.
It was just
No way.
rifled in there.
Yeah,
Just no
no keep.
stopping that.
Yeah, no keeper is saving that. No keeper saving that. It was the way he had it as well, man. It wasn't. It was hot with some amount of venom, man, and no keeper stopping that, no matter what level. You know what I mean? That was fantastic.
And then it's a case of after that, the game sort of just petered
Yeah,
out. There wasn't
yeah,
much. I mean, it's like Dunfermline took a pot shot from kickoff, like
yeah,
from about 30 yards out. It caused a little bit of trouble, but that might just be down to the conditions. I'm
yeah,
not sure. I mean, it was probably dark, wet, and windy
hmm
by that time.
yeah,
But that does move, but it finishes 1-0 to Ayr, and that does move them a point behind Livingston. Dunfermline remain ninth. Granted, both teams
hmm
have played a game more now. So, again, it's not looking good for Dunfermline.
yeah. It's really not. Like as I said, like any time that I've seen us come up against them, they've not really impressed at all. To be honest, at East End Park, I don't think we were good at all. It was just a case of we took our chances and they didn't. They've not impressed. They've really not impressed me. I don't know, but them being like 5 points ahead of Airdrie, I think they are. Yeah. That kind
They're
of shows you
7 points clear of Airdrie, yeah.
yeah, 7 points clear Airdrie. That just shows you how bad Airdrie are at the moment.
Absolutely. I was going to say, looking at the form table, Dunfermline have 2 wins in the last 5. Airdrie have just 5 defeats in a row again. It's just awful at Airdrie.
It's a
They're
complete
not even
contrast.
playing and we're still
Yeah.
bullying them.
It's a complete contrast to how they were last season. I thought they were really good last season. I think they were unlucky not to, take us the extra time. To be honest, at Firhill, in the playoffs, they were unlucky. But this season they've not been good at all. They're in real danger. But I don't know how Dunfermline are 7 points clear because they're really bad as well. And there's I've seen a lot of make Pake out shouts at full time on Twitter and whatnot. And
they've been shouting that for about 6
yeah,
months.
Yes, even since last season I've wanted about, and I don't really blame them, to be honest.
Actually, probably about 12 months now, come to think of
Yeah.
it. We're coming to around about the time of the third round of the Scottish Cup, and that's when we popped them 3-0 at East End Park. So I'd probably say that's when it really started up last season. But
I think I don't know, to be honest. Who've Dunfermline got next in the league?
Dunfermline next week are at home to Hamilton. Oh god, that's going to be. Oh no, not next week because that's 2 weeks away. Because we've got the Scottish Cup next week.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that one. I completely forgot about that. I've got like everything set up nice and ready now, but I didn't notice a date saying 7th of December on the top. And it's like, yeah, cheers. Let's see. Dunfermline. Wait, do they not have a? Oh, they're away to Edinburgh City.
That's in the
But Edinburgh
Cup.
City are a team capable of scoring goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like they got. I'm not sure what his name is, but I swear he's like top scorer in League 2. Let's see. Am I able to play as Connor Young, who is on 13 goals? He is why Edinburgh City are sitting where they are. They're 5th. Edinburgh City have 19 goals in the league, and Connor Young scored 13 of them.
I can see Edinburgh City causing an upset there. To be honest,
I mean, really, I thought Connor Young actually. Yeah, no, Connor Young's contracted. He's not there on loan from anyone. I'll be honest. It's like I won't be surprised if he's there after January.
Yeah,
honestly, it's like that form is just incredible.
That's fantastic. But who've Dunfermline got in the league? Do you know? Next after.
It was Hamilton at home.
Hamilton.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to cover that.
It's probably if you're looking at to try to get fucking starting to get form under your belt, man. It's games like that you need to be winning. But I mean, Hamilton were god awful when we played them. They were.
I know. That's why I was looking forward to. I was looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah. They were
also deep in the knowledge that we would end up losing 1-0 somehow.
Yeah. But I think Dunfermline probably will be in the playoffs, relegation playoff. I mean, there's a lot of football still would get played, obviously. But I will not be surprised.
5 teams who could end up in that relegation playoff. Actually, no, we'll count it down to 4 because let's face it, Airdrie are finishing bottom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I would not be surprised if Dunfermline are down there. But again, a lot of football to be played still. There's probably still, as you said, at least 4 teams that can still be right down there towards the end.
I think we're about a third of the way through the season now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we've played 14 games.
28.
But to make up for the fact that we only have 2 championship games to cover, we might as well cover the only other non-Premiership game to go ahead, and that was Montrose against Annan. Now, for context, going into this game, Montrose started in 7th and Annan down in 8th. But if you remove the points deductions for both Inverness and Dumbarton, Montrose would be down in 8th and Annan would be bottom, which says something.
Yeah.
Imagine just like staying up because everyone else is just falling
Yeah.
apart. Succeeding by doing nothing.
Yeah.
But again, as we were saying about games being delayed, this game got delayed until 5 p.m., which must have been an awful journey home for the Annan fans, considering they're pretty much at the border and it's like
Yeah.
coming back from Angus and also coming back from a 2-1 defeat.
Oh,
Now, the thing is, it's like watching the highlights, you're thinking, how on earth have Annan not got anything from this?
yeah.
Because that first half was up until that first half was genuinely all Annan,
Mhm.
and it did confuse me because for whatever reason, it's like when you associate you associate Montrose with a blue home kit
Yeah.
and Annan, with the yellow and black.
Yeah.
Montrose are playing in white and Annan were playing in blue.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was watching the highlights as well, I
It's like
seen.
I had to
Yeah.
double check until
Yeah.
it wasn't until like the goal happened. It's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, who went ahead first? And I
Yeah.
seen it was Montrose who went ahead first.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Aye.
It's like having to
Yeah.
go back and check again.
It was
But
very, very, very confusing.
but yeah, it was genuinely all Annan in that first
Mhm.
half
Yeah.
up until the goal, and then again, Montrose are the ones who managed to get ahead in the 35-minute. But just before half time, like genuinely like the last kick before half time, Aidan Smith. What a hit.
Yeah. Easily goal, yeah,
What
easily
a
goal
hit.
this season. Easily goal, easily so far goal of the season contender for all leagues. I would say, to be honest, not just for League One or whatever for the lower leagues. For all leagues, it was
Aye,
absolute
absolutely.
belter of a goal. And then obviously Montrose took the lead, but as you said, I thought Annan were very unlucky not to come away with something, and especially after a goal like that. That is a game-winning goal. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's. I feel Annan fans would be quite disappointed not to come away with Montrose with that.
Aye, it was like Montrose, it was
Yeah.
McIver Edward getting a header from a corner on the hour mark. And it's like after that there was two big chances
Yeah.
from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them 1-on-1s, edge of the box.
Yeah.
It's like the Annan one, the boy just hits it, just like scoops
Yeah.
it over, and then
Yeah.
the Montrose one, it's a good block from the defender right at the death.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does move Montrose up to six above Queen of the South. But again, Queen of the South had their game called off.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't think League One has gone under the radar this season because the points that we are seeing here is like the gap between teams, with everyone having played 14 games apart from Montrose and Annan,
Yeah.
is just ridiculous. It
Yeah.
is absolutely mad. It was, if we were to remove the points deductions, the gap between Annan, who would be bottom, would be 14 points, and it would be Kelty, who are top, and tied with Arbroath on 22. It's like 8 points after 14 games separating the entire division. It's a case of like Montrose, they're sixth, and it's a case of if by some miracle they were to win and results were able to go their way, they could go top.
Yeah.
From sixth. And it's like they've played 14, 15 games. It's ridiculous how tight it is.
Yeah,
This is what I was expecting the championship to be.
Yeah, it's absolute, it's a batshit league. Looking at it, to be honest, aye, it's nuts.
It's the League One that I know and love. It's mental. It's like people talk about the championship being mental, but the thing is, it's like League One, because it's like the one below the professional team, and it's like you'll have a professional team just in amongst it.
Yeah.
And it is just pure and utter chaos.
Yeah.
Every single season.
Yeah. When Thistle were in League One, man, it was demoted, not relegated, obviously. No, when it was, I need to get over. I need to take my medicine. But no,
do you go about with that flag where it's
oh yeah, I'm the owner of it. Yeah, I'm the owner of it. No, but it's me that made it. No, Aye, like when we were in it, man, it was an absolute. Even then, like we were like sixth. I think we were like 6 points, but something like that before Falkirk's collapse.
Before Falkirk just
Yeah,
imploded in the funniest way
it's
possible.
honestly it was wild, man. Like we had no right to win that that season, no right whatsoever. And it was nuts. I remember we were playing at East Fife and we were 2-1 down, and when we were 2-1 down, we were sixth, and we were like that. We ended up getting a point. Scored like last minute to equalise. We absolutely robbed East Fife, man. Of a win this day. And I think we went to fifth or something like that. And then since then we just kept
And it's
plodding,
like
kept
2 months
yeah,
later you won the league because
yeah,
it
2-1,
was
yeah,
a
because
shortened season. You only played each other
yeah,
3 times.
yeah,
God, that was weird.
it
COVID
was
ball was weird. That first
nuts.
2 seasons of Falkirk being actually no, probably like aside, it's like you had the unbeaten season, but then it's like the previous 4 seasons of
Yeah,
Falkirk in League One, which is absolutely hilarious because it was a
uh-huh.
case of how are they going to not get promoted
Yeah,
this time? Because it was the first one was uh, John Baird scoring in like the last game before a worldwide
yeah,
pandemic shut everything down. The second season was one of the most
yeah,
mental implosions where it's like they went
yeah,
from top in the beginning of it. It's like they
mm-hmm.
began April top and they
Yeah,
ended it like
mm-hmm.
fifth. It's like they
Yeah,
missed the playoffs. They were
yeah,
like 12 points clear of you in sixth.
yeah.
It's like
It,
how
it was insane, and then like obviously we beat them to be absolutely hammered them at Forhill
to win the league.
to win the league, yeah. And now it was a case of because I don't even I think by that point they weren't even in there. I think Falkirk had to win to like kind of stay in the thing, but like it was us and Cove that were kind of fighting for it, and
Aye.
then obviously we drew with Cove to basically thing me to knock them off, and then we had to basically win at Forhill, beat Falkirk at Forhill. We absolutely hammered them 5-0. And it was insane. Honestly, it's a league I really don't want to see again.
It's one of those where it's like from the
It's
outside it looks great, but see when you're in it and you're
yeah,
one of the teams who's professional
yeah,
and you're thinking, "Oh, this would be a cakewalk." It's
yeah.
not.
We were
League
we
One
were
is hell.
yeah, we were awful for like majority. I don't know if it was because it was like we didn't go to the game, so it must have like we were watching it on stream. It must have been
Or from the
the
canal,
yeah. Oh, I wasn't there. No.
the canal loyal.
Yeah, Canal Royal. Yeah. No one was there. No one was there. Nobody. Absolutely no one. No. I don't know if it was because it was that and you weren't on the grounds, but like I hated my time seeing us in League One, and like it's a league where thank thank I generally think we'd still be in League One if we didn't get out when we did. And a lot of Thistle fans would be like, nah, we would probably won it this season. And I was like, well, Falkirk said that, and they were in it for like,
Falkirk spent five
yeah,
seasons. Dunfermline spent three
yeah,
seasons. One time we spent 3 seasons
hmm
last time. Although saying that
yeah,
Dunfermline last time they went straight back up, managing
hmm
to.
yeah.
Did they
It's
not win the
it's an
league
awful
against
league.
Falkirk as well? Or it might have been the week after a derby
Yeah,
win or something.
yeah. It's nuts. It's a mental
God,
league.
that must have been so depressing for Falkirk fans.
And then they get into the playoffs the season before they won the league and get
Aye.
pumped off air. Yeah, get pumped off Airdrie. They were like 5-0 down at half time or something like that.
Oh, that one. Oh, I was like 5-0 after like
Yeah,
20 minutes.
yeah. Because we were playing Queens Park that night as well, at home. And like my friend had it notified in his phone. It just went dirt. It kept 1-0, 2-0, and they're like he looked at his phone. It was like it's 5-0 Airdrie, and fuck it. In the 20th minute, you're like, there's no coming back for that.
What has
Like,
gone wrong? It's
yeah,
like, you're thinking surely that's an error. It's like, no,
yeah,
that's
no,
genuinely what the score is.
yeah. It's wild. It's a mad league. Like we all talk about, as you said, the Championship being a batshit league, but like League One is batshit on steroids, man. It's
And
nuts.
not the good kind of
It's
steroids.
not yeah. It's not a good steroids at all.
So, that is all we have from the the lower echelons of the SPFL for this week. Next week, however, again we have nothing because it's a Scottish Cup. I would go through them all, but there is 20 games.
Yeah.
But for the teams that we're interested in,
Yeah.
sorry everyone else, but the championship teams anyway. An all championship tie between Queens Park and Partick Thistle. You're welcome. I'm sorry, but it's like
Generally,
that is like
it's
the worst feeling. That
yeah,
is like the
it's so
absolute
bad.
worst feeling when it's like you get. It's like, oh yes, it's a cup. We're gonna get someone
Yeah.
that we haven't. That we're not gonna play 4 times in a season, and then it's someone in your league.
I generally think we've played Queens Park like 9 times in the last 2 or 3 years. It's a joke, man. Like I don't even know why, as a Thistle fan, you get excited for the Scottish Cup draws. You're like, oh, we can get a really good cup draw early doors. You can get Elgin or something like that. You know, we can tick them off the 42, and you get hit Queens Park. It's dreadful. Like even like
Congratulations, your
yeah,
road to Hampden starts
yeah.
now.
Here's what you could have won. And I know it's absolutely awful. But
We got Dunfermline 6 times last season. It's like we got them in the League Cup
Jesus
and we
Christ,
got them in the Scottish Cup. I
yeah,
mean, not going to complain because we won 5 in a row.
yeah, yeah. But I know it's rubbish. And then like the season before that, we apart from getting Rangers, which I know it's Rangers away. It was actually a good day out, and we nearly probably could have beat them out. Probably could have put them out the cup. That was a Scott Tiffany goal, which
That
was
was Michael
one
Beale
of
was his judge, wasn't he?
yeah Michael Beale. Yeah, he
Michael
gave the
Beale.
gave the goal to. I mean, no, it was all Scott Tiffany's
Oh,
skill,
that was
and
beautiful. The
yeah,
booing.
oh yeah, it was
I love
generally
boos. That was
it
at a
was
whole other
generally
level.
the weirdest goal. Like, I still get Rangers fans to this day asking me about that game. Like, what did you think about it? And I was like, I had no idea what was going on because like
I love how McGregor
yeah,
tried to tackle
yeah,
Scott
yeah,
Tiffany.
yeah. It was nuts. But I don't know as a Thistle fan because like I don't know as a Thistle fan why you get excited for these because like you just get hit with rubbish draws, man. Like year before that, we started off with Kelty at home, and that was that was a game where all the people that sit in the North Stand protested against the board, so there was hardly nobody at the game. Then we got Dunfermline at home, and we beat them in the fucking penalties, and nearly put us out. And then we get Rangers away. Year after that, I think we get Queens Park away, Queens Park at home. Sorry, Ross County away after the fucking playoffs, which is obviously we ended up beating
PTSD.
them, and on the face of it, it's a good day out because it's Ross County away, but it's like too soon
But
after
it's
what happened.
like a
Yeah,
couple of months earlier, you just had
yeah,
like the worst day of your
yeah,
life.
yeah. So yeah, like that was awful. But obviously we won, so it was fine. And we get Livingston away, and we were leading 2-0. They come back and they beat us in the last fucking minute in the last minute of extra time to beat us. So you're just like, and then obviously we get hit with a shit like all championship tie. I'm like, I mean, if it was like away to Ayr, I like Ayr away, so that'd be fine. If it was away to Wraith, I like a game away to Wraith, fine. If it was away to like Dunfermline, it's fine because I like going to Dunfermline, but Queens Park away, it's so rubbish, man. Like it's awful. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's
that's enough. That's
I
enough
was
whinging.
gonna say it's like last
Yeah,
season we got Dunfermline away and then
yeah,
Livingston away, and it's like I swear to God we played Livingston away in a cup competition every year for like the past 5 years, and now we've got them in the league.
yeah.
But then the season before that, it was an incredible run. We had Banks
Mm-hmm.
of D away, then Linlithgow Rose away,
Oh, that's
and
so good.
then Rangers away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was incredible. It's like I managed
Yeah.
to get to all three, and it was absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of, Banks of D are at home to Hamilton, and I mean, Banks of D are doing quite well in the
Mm-hmm.
Highland League. They're up towards the top end. All saying that, I think Brecon are just running away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Banks of D Stadium is one of the most bizarre places I've been.
Yeah, it's that not the one that's like
It's
trying to
like
think it's like on
so the north. There is not a north stand. Like it is
mm-hmm.
literally like the goal, and
Yeah,
then behind the goal it is the fencing because it's the River
yeah,
Dee.
yeah.
The east stand is sort of like cut in half because
Mm-hmm.
it's got the railway curve, and then it's like the south stand is like on a slope, and to get to
Mm-hmm.
the east stand you have to go down a bunch of stairs, and then
Yeah.
the west it is a leisure centre
Mm-hmm.
with sort of like Queen's Park's golf shed next to it for like the director's box and like where
Yeah.
there is like seating.
Mhm.
And it's one of the most bizarre grounds I have
Yeah.
been to. I kind of like it. That's sort of the magic of the
Yeah.
cup. Those are the sort of away days you want. And it's like
Mhm.
I think we were only limited to about 500 tickets as well
Jesus Christ, man.
because it's not big at all.
Yeah.
But other championship teams, we have Livingston. They're at home to Brora. I'd imagine all 12 of their fans were hoping for that to be away. Um, another all championship tie in Ayr United versus Greenock Morton. I'm sure Aidan was
Jesus
very
Christ.
happy about seeing that come out of the draw.
Oh,
Again, as mentioned, Dunfermline Athletic, they are away to Edinburgh City. Raith Rovers are away to Linlithgow Rose, which I am very happy about because
that's
I've
a good one.
been to Linlithgow twice. I'm going for a third time, managed to get my ticket after a little bit of panic. Thanks, fan base.
You've got the pub crawl in Linlithgow as well, so.
I was going to say it's like between the station
Mhm.
and the stadium is about
Yeah.
5 or 6 pubs. So
Yeah.
um,
It's good to make a
whether
wee
I
day
make
out
it
of
to the
that
game or
before.
not.
Aye.
But it's like been to Linlithgow twice before. It's a brilliant, it's a proper old juniors
Yeah.
ground. It's
Aye.
a really good away day. And let's see, we have on the Sunday, but not on TV. Don't ask. Edgery are away to Dundee North End, and the way things are going, it's
Yeah.
like, is it really a shock if Dundee North End get a win?
No.
I
I,
mean, they've
I,
got
gen-
it's like
I
North End. They've
generally
got
don't think
Bobby
so,
Lynn.
yeah.
They've
Yeah.
got Bobby Lynn, who is probably going to. It's like, I mean, come on, like San Marino have got
Mhm.
more goals and wins in like the timeline of this season than Edgery do.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a shock as well. Like bringing up the like shocks that of it as well. I think Aki's got. I don't like in the cups. I don't think Aki's do too well in the cups. They get put out by
Mm.
Auckland like Talbot as well a couple of seasons ago, didn't
That was air.
they? Was it Air? I thought it was Aki's
That
as
was
well.
air. That air got that. The air game was definitely on TV. I definitely remember
Yeah,
that. But I feel
yeah,
like you might be
uh,
right about Aki's being knocked out by a junior
t-
side.
yeah, yeah. But
And
no,
yeah, and the televised game is East Kilbride at home against Falkirk because Mick Kennedy's Soldiers of Love need more TV time. Although, granted, it's a different team. They've just moved to East Kilbride.
it's
And
Chicken
that's a Key
Empire.
Park. And to be fair, that one's on TV for a very good reason. Key Park has about 700, has a capacity of like 750. The Falkirk fans need a way of watching that game.
His Chicken Empire runs on.
So, no, we're not going to be covering the Scottish Cup, but we will be back for. Actually, you know what? Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
Scheduling is not real. We will definitely be back, whether it is covering the Scottish Cup, if any of us can feel like it, or whether it'll be a case of returning with Championship football. That is
Yeah.
hopefully more than 2 games. Anyway, once again, I have been your host, Callum Blythe, again joined by Kieran Ashton, and we will see you at the next time. Goodbye.